Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in. It's going to be a bit of a short one for you today because it's been a very busy week, but I do have a number of projects on the go that's coming up. The most important one is I need to make myself a new toolbox. I have an old actually, quite a number of old plastic school toolboxes I picked up when they were on sale, a long time ago now. And I've been using those, but I pack an awful lot of stuff in them. They're really quite heavy. And recently, the one I've been using the most, I was pulling it out of the vehicle, and, well, the handle snapped right off, and it landed on the ground, which was most annoying. So what I need to do is I want to put together something a lot more robust, something that can put up with a lot more abuse. And the other thing is, I didn't really like those old plastic ones anyway, because, well, like I said, I jam an awful lot of stuff in there, and I fiddle with them an awful lot trying to get them to close. So that's one of the things I have coming up. I am going to make it's a very simple build, but it should be interesting. Anyway, the other thing I need to do is I need to make myself a mini desktop or benchtop work table. Obviously for me it's not going to be for here, it's going to be when I go to job sites, because currently what I do when I have a small piece of wood or trim or molding or whatever I need that needs to be cut, well, I'm doing it on top of my toolbox. It doesn't look very professional, so I want to make a little something a little bit more, well, nicer looking and much more functional and easier to cut 45s, that sort of stuff. Lots of basic things, but yeah, I want it to be able to hold whatever I'm going to be doing in place. And like I said, yeah, it should be a little bit more interesting than the toolbox, because there's going to be a lot more involved in obviously being able to hold everything where it needs to go. Now, the other thing I want to do is something I've started, the drum sander. It's still in the works. I just need to find time, and then lots of these other projects keep coming up that, well, need to be done. Like this was necessary. I need something to organize all the different screws I have, because as you see as this video is progressing, I have an awful lot of them. And the problem is not so much, well, it is a bit annoying when it comes to trying to find stuff, but sometimes I'm going to a job, I have a specific one that I think I'm going to need, and I go searching through the toolboxes I have with me, and it's not in them, it's in something else, and I end up buying more than I need. Some of these screws I end up having tons of, and I don't really need them an awful lot. And this is hopefully going to, prevent me having to buy boxes and boxes of ones that I just don't require. So there you go. That's one of the reasons for this. And again, the other thing is, it is much easier. As you can see, this is very easy to sort and organize. I'm putting all the little labels in the front so I can, see them at a glance. The one in the upper right is obviously 10 by 2s. And you can see I use an awful lot of number 10 screws. The reason for that is when I get to job sites, often what I'm doing is replacing an old screw, either in a hinge or whatever, and they use 6s or 8s or whatever they're going to be using, and instead of having to fill the hole and then re-drill it and do all that stuff, I most often get away with putting just a larger diameter screw in there, and the number 10s are very good for that sort of thing. Obviously, can't do that all the time, but every now and then it does save me a bit of effort and get a job done a lot quicker. So that's the reason for those. And you're also going to see there's another version of the number 10s. These are wood screws. They're also, I use a lot of metal ones like these. These ones here are mostly for when I'm doing downspout work, because they're very good for holding, if you're putting a new section of downspout onto an old, they just go in quite easily, and it's like I said, very quick and easy. And well, again, because often they're being held together by a slightly thinner diameter screw, these ones work really quite well as a replacement. And even if it's not, even it's brand new, they work quite well. So there you go. Now the thing about the thing about this, when I was building it and thinking, what am I going to do? I wanted to make sure it was really tough, because as you can see, there's an awful lot of screws going in this, and it's going to weigh a fair amount. I did weigh it, so you are going to find out in the end of this how much this all weighs. Those are Tapcons, by the way. often have to add a new dryer vent or vent in general to the outside of a building, and gluing them on is just not satisfactory. They need to be held on, and that's another thing I have to do. So the tack cons are very good for that. And those are just assorted pieces of screw. There's going to be a whole pile more of those. So there you go, all loaded up. One thing I'm not going to do is I'm not going to put the drywall screws in there, mostly because I use them on very specific jobs, obviously, and there's no point in putting them in here because there's a nice handy carrying case already, and well, when I go I need an awful lot of them, and I'll just take that whole thing with me. So there you go. It's not something I actually have to look for. I just keep it in the bin where I keep all my drywall stuff, and it's there. So there you go. Done. And by the way, this weighed 22 pounds total, but it's actually pretty good. I was actually very happy with that. So thanks for watching. Leave comments, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next video, and bye for now.